my childhood just destroyed. I mean, Nickelodeon, Diddy.
Yeah.
They're just terrible.
Yeah, I feel bad for you guys. At least my generation, we saw Bruce Jenner turn into a woman. So we got that. Rants of Izzo here on Spreely Media pre-show. Hope you guys are doing well today. If you're listening on the podcast, hey, it's awesome to hear from you. Awesome to see from you, all this kind of stuff. If you're watching on the live stream, man, let me do this. I forgot to do this today. I have to set up our call. Our phones are always open. It's awesome to have you people. Can I say that without being like racist? Now, you people interacting with us. The line for the show is 708-982-0974. What you're looking at right now, if you are looking online, this is Spreely Media. We have news, we have entertainment where you'll find like Report and Opine, the Burn Pit Podcast, Shannon Joy Show, some cop talk stuff from me, Pete Santilli. There's a lot of stuff on here, which is great. If you're not at Spreely.com, get on there. We also have a social media platform where it's full free speech. Look at this. It's free speech. And if you don't like free speech, get the fuck out of the country. Oh, where the heck am I? Oh, there I am. I couldn't see myself for that one. Welcome. Eric Butler from Report and Opine is sitting in today, my co-pilot. Eric, can you tell everybody about that awesome book that you happened to put out?
Yes, sir. New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued. It is, of course, a photo documentary of the demise. I don't know if it's the beginning, I don't know if it's the end, or perhaps just the middle of when, the Rona lockdown was there. So I just took the train to every stop I had never been to in New York City, took a whole bunch of pictures. It later turned into a book. Please buy it so I can get these people off my back for a handful of returns. And it's amazing. It's a conversation starter. It's a good coffee table book, and your friends are going to love it, and people are going to point and laugh, and it's a great conversation starter. So please buy it. New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, Eric Butler, Amazon.com.
There you go. One of today's sponsors also is CreateHolistic.com. CreateHolistic.com. You got problems, man? Go to Create Holistic, like gut problems or any, which apparently your brain, your second brain is your gut. I didn't know about that. We've had many conversations about the gut and the importance. If you call or actually send Maureen an email at createholistics.com, Maureen will give you a 20-minute consultation for free. Let her know that you heard about us at the show at the Rants of Izzo on Spreely.com. So go check out CreateHolistic.com. Stop taking those meds potentially stop taking those meds that your doctor, because they all know. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know this shit, apparently doctors only get like 2 weeks of nutritional training in their doctor school. So they don't know shit. They put on a white coat and so full of crap. All right, let's have a show here at Spreely.com. Rants of Izzo. It is Tuesday. All right, let's have a conversation.
Prepare yourself.
The opinions of the host and guests on this show are exclusively just that, opinions. That means that they shouldn't be the cause of your state of being offended. Why does everybody get so butthurt?
Okay, let's go. Ready, go!
Sit down, shut up, and pay attention.
Damn!
This is the Rants of Izzo Show with your host, Dominic Izzo, from porn to politics. We touch every third rail we can find. You might want to put your headphones
The indictment
on
alleges
so your mom can't hear this. It's been called the most entertaining 60 minutes on the internet, and it starts now. Let's do this.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. This is the Rants of Izzo here on Spreely Media. We are a stream of consciousness program covering everything from porn to politics. We try to make it just as entertaining as possible to get through the middle of your day. It's 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central out here in the Chicago area. And we know how hard life is, especially considering the fact that the world is going to the dogs right now. And if you're Haitian, that could be a good thing. I don't know. Eric Butler sitting in from Report and Opine. It's Tuesday. before we kick off today's topics, I mean, you saw the second assassination attempt, and I want to know if you have any opinions on it. I'm kind of tired of talking about it, but I have no idea if you have any opinions on it and got some theories. And how did you feel when you heard, hey, another assassination attempt on President Trump?
Well, I did. This is going to sound bad, but I almost felt a little bit like kind of jaded. Like, oh, here we go again. And look, bro, when the first one happened, I said I'm not the only one to say that this was clearly not going to be the last one. And here we are, and this guy is even more out there. You know, there's clips of him on huge YouTube channels, right? You see the clip of him on Gideon, whatever, where he loves Ukraine. He's almost 60 years old, and it's a little bit strange, but and for what, 60 seconds, the media said, oh, we're glad he's okay, and Trump needs to turn down the rhetoric, and then they go right back to, I mean, you can read, there's clips right now, I think on my Instagram story, it may have disappeared by now, but they literally just, oh, he's a danger, and it's like, bro, this is really, really strange, and it also sort of leads me to believe that maybe the entire thing is not quite as rigged as I think it is, and they're freaking out, and that's why they keep trying to kill him. So I don't know. Dude.
I did a breakdown of the timestamps of the shooting, the orgy of evidence. It blows me away from from where he was, according to it's not MapQuest, Google Maps or whatever. If you plot Trump International golf course and where he was stopped in Palm City, the fastest time is a 49-minute drive, and that's doing the speed limit, right? The alleged shots fired came out around 1:30, and the police body camera that took him into custody was 2:22 p.m. That's 42 minutes. That's like, or no, is it
almost an hour?
52
more
minutes.
Than 30 minutes.
It's 52 minutes, right? And it's like, wait a second, that's perfect. And I'm not taking into consideration human factor of he runs from the feds, he has to get to his car wherever he parked because he was there for 12 hours. So where the hell did he hide his car at? Speeding out of there. And then the real-time information that came in, you get a response of active shooter. You got to lock down that scene. And they said flat out that there was a witness who just happened to see him. Just happened to get the vehicle, just happened to get the plate. They for that's a real-time crime center. They tracked down the car, all these. I'm like, man, this is just, it was either too perfect of law enforcement stuff, or come on, man, this MK Ultra shit is 100% real. This guy was in a Black Rock video along with the last shooter, Cook. They're in the same damn Black Rock video.
Whoa. They're in the same video?
That's what
I don't think they were.
Oh, was it the same or they were in separate? Okay, they were separate? I don't know about that.
I believe they were in separate videos.
Okay. See?
Which is still.
Thank you for correcting me, because we don't want to spread false information. He's clearly, I guess the FBI as recent as 2019 had contact with him because there was a complaint on him that he had illegal weapons as a felon. So, you know, at what point do people say, yeah, the FBI is recruiting, right? But to the asinine aspect of stuff, social media is insane, as is the mainstream media, where they didn't take two breaths before it was blaming Trump for his rhetoric for people shooting at him, which is the same as, oh, you got raped? What were you wearing? I thought we didn't do that stuff, right? I thought we didn't do that. I did a test to see how it works, and I went to Twitter, and I found just somebody. Guy's name's Bill Madden, Madden aficionado, whatever. He's got 240,000 followers, and he posted a 2-minute and 10-second video saying, "Holy shit, holy fucking shit!" In case you all missed it, the reception Kamala Harris received in Greensboro, North Carolina, was fucking unworldly, and it's a really big crowd, right? This is all I did, dude. This is all I did. I commented, "This video has been debunked and proven to be AI." I don't know. I'm basically doing what they did, making shit up. I've got 17,000 views to my comment, 351 likes to my comment, 14 shares, 67 comments, and it's pretty much people who are Kamala Harris supporters saying, no, that's not true. Show me the proof. And I'm just going, you're delusional. They had it on CNN that it was proven to be false, which is a lie. Because I have just been lying like they do, and the amount of engagement I've got is insane. It's insane.
Yeah. It's weird. They don't want to, they can't stand a taste of their own medicine. We see the same thing in San Francisco, right? For years now, junkies, tweakers have been self-vaccinating under the Bay Bridge. Gavin Newsom says we're going to clean it up. San Francisco Mayor London Breed says we're going to clean it up. And then people start protesting the cleanup. Like they can't handle the, and for the record, it is the same people. It's scumbag greaseball bang your wife Governor Gavin Newsom saying we're okay with this, and he says okay, we're going to clean it up so we don't look so bad on the national scale. It's the same people giving the directions, and now they're quite angry about it. It's completely ridiculous. And just, well, I don't know where you, but really quick, we have to talk about the dogs and stuff,
dude.
I'm sorry, the cats.
Yeah,
the cats.
Go ahead, because I was going to kind of trying to weasel way in there. Everybody who says no, it's not happening. All you have to do is type in Springfield, Ohio City Council in Twitter. The videos of citizens at what do you call it? City council meetings are going, no, this is legitimately happening.
Yeah. And look, to be completely honest with you, did I have proof? No. Did I sift through Twitter looking for videos? No. But it was pretty obvious that even if this only happened one time, that's enough, right? It didn't just spawn out of nowhere, which is totally possible, and the left does it all the time. But I don't think this just came out of nowhere. I think it happened at least once. Maybe it got blown out of proportion, but it was pretty clear that eventually we were going to learn a little bit about the truth. And outside of all that, the thing is, this makes it even more plausible and more realistic. The media is freaking out. I scroll through my Instagram every other, well, now it's all just Diddy stuff. But 2 days ago, it was just story, NBC, ABC, CBS, just all the mainstream articles. Trump and JD Vance false claims. Trump for a week. They just keep saying it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. No, you can't believe this. And it's like, hold on. It reminds me of that guy out in Washington, D.C. If you remember during Rona, when Fauci and D.C. Mayor Bowser came to his house, and he literally just says, now there's something else going on here. It's just very obvious. It's like, why are you, if it was fake, you could just be like, no, this is not real. You guys are crazy, and then just move on. But every day, ad nauseum, they keep saying, no, you can't believe this. You can't believe this. And it's like, you guys are, the media doth protest too much. And it reminds me of Rona, right? How for years we saw a death ticker, and you got to wear a mask. You got to wear 2 masks. You got to wear goggles. You got to get the shot. You got to get 2 shots. You can't go into a restaurant without proof of a shot. And then it just goes away. Oh no, what is that? No. Oh, and then we're going to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine off the market because it's dangerous. And oh yeah, it doesn't really work. So it seems very similar to this. Like a year is going to go by, and they're going to say, oh yeah, that was actually happening.
So,
oh well.
Right. Then the accountability needs to be. It's the same thing with that Joe Rogan with the ivermectin, and how CNN turned his complexion gray, said it doesn't work, and then you fast forward a year, okay, well, it does work. When are we going to get to punch these motherfuckers in the face who are purposely lying? Trump, and it's his delivery, right? He had said it during the vaccine or the pandemic, which was you interject yourself with UV light. Oh, see, he says, or you interject yourself with bleach. Well, then it turns out the things he was saying was not medically correct, but it had massive validity because it was typical procedures. UV light kills the virus. Bleach does this. So it's his delivery of how he's saying it that they're mocking. At what point? Because you have the population of the village of Springfield, Ohio, is 58,106 people. That's the same rough size as the northwest suburban city I live in the Chicago area. GPS now identifies the block of mobile devices the government has provided to the Haitian migrants in Springfield, Ohio. That number has totaled 32,117.
So more than half.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is completely, it's just completely despicable. And this, of course, they're not, I think, I don't know exactly, but I feel like they're going to play this card when people say, oh, illegal migrants, or because they're not using the term undocumented, but they will not, they can't cop to the idea that these people are illegal because, of course, they're fleeing a war-torn country and we let them in, which I guess makes it a little bit better. They didn't just swim through the river or crawl over the fence.
I don't know. My biggest problem is I have zero problem. I don't have a problem with legal migration at all. I've talked about it all the time. I worked very closely with the Hispanic culture who moved first generations here. Awesome people. I have a problem with the cultural concept. Okay, so I don't care who says it's racial. There is a heavy number of Hispanic men that love to drink and drive. It's cultural. Well, maybe they could do it in their country, but nobody told them, hey, listen, A, you're driving illegally because you didn't go through the proper channel to get a driver's license. You can't because you don't have whatever American credentials you need, right? So now we also have to talk about, in America, you can't drink and drive. It's cultural. The number that don't have insurance. Oh, that killed me too. The number of insurance claims from accidents in Springfield, Ohio, they say have skyrocketed. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen? People don't come in, and it would be like if I moved to France and I showered regularly, they would be like, how dare you? You have to give up showering now that you're here. You know, fitting that stereotype. So I don't know, dude. I think I don't know why it's so hard. No, actually I do. And it is my deepest wish because there's going to be no other way of learning it. I truly hope that these liberals who believe everything, they experience firsthand. And this is loving kindness I'm sending your way. They experience firsthand the robberies, the car crashes with no insurance, the rapes, your pets being decapitated and eaten. I hope you fucking experience this horror, so you have that survival mode of racism.
And they still don't learn.
Yeah.
Okay, not to this degree, but I literally have a friend all the way back in college in San Francisco who worked his way up at a shop. So he was just a shopkeep, and then he became the manager and like part owner or something. He's getting up there, and he came onto my Instagram. I don't know if I've told this story on the show, but he came onto my Instagram and called me. And just for anybody who cares, he is white. He's like an old weird white guy, and he's like, "Oh, I made some joke, or I posted a reel or something about San Francisco being terrible. I think it was when they created a $1 billion ad campaign to come to San Francisco or something, and I made a joke about it. And he said, "You're a bigot. You're a right winger." This is a white guy telling a black guy. A year later, the shop that he worked at shut down because there's rampant crime in San Francisco. And I even without planning this, I literally recorded a man overdosing outside of his shop in downtown San Francisco that shut down. I think he still has a job at another location, but he genuinely refuses to connect the dots at all. It's like it's literally happening on your front, like in front of your store. And you're mad at me for pointing it out?
It's a pride issue, dude. I guilty pleasure. It's like I watch certain influencers when I'm eating. And yesterday I was watching a Charlie Kirk when he's debating. And every time I push play, I'm like, why am I bothering? And it was a girl who she's proud to be a first generation college student in her family. And she's literally third generation from Mexico. I'm third generation Italian here. So it's like I have no association to Italy whatsoever. I just don't. So when she's going that, well, all illegal immigrants are being just the stigma of border jumpers and criminals, and nobody's saying that. And Charlie Kirk for 10 minutes kept trying to talk about the facts of the legal process of migration. And he got to a definition where he's like, what is the definition of a criminal? And she pauses for like 30 seconds and the crowd starts going, oh, and she's like, no, I don't want to say it because he'll spin it. And he goes, do you agree that the definition of a criminal is somebody who breaks a crime? She goes, no, we just agree to disagree. And I'm like, you get to the point where you're going to die on the hill of your argument because of, it's just pride. That's all it is. There is nothing wrong. And I've said this forever. If you can't, like, I'll never debate people on Trump's policies because I'm not very well educated on them. So if you bring a Trump policy and say he believes in X, Y, and Z, I'm going to say I don't have that information, be more than happy to research on it. But when you say I can't stand him because he's racist and he's this and that, and I go, okay, can you say one thing that was racist that he said? And then we debunk the whole, they're very fine people on two sides, or they're bringing in their rapists and all this. We debunk that. It doesn't take that much from going, listen, I'm fine with you hating Trump because you can't articulate why. There are people out there in my life who've been like, I don't know why I hate you. I just do. It's an energy thing, right? And if you start there and admit that, I think it really frees up a lot of clarity to finding a true decisive reason why. Like, I can't stand Kamala Harris. I start there. It's personality conflict. Why can't you stand her? She takes nothing seriously. Well, how do you prove that she takes nothing seriously? All right, she cackles at everything. So that's what I can't stand. So then I talk about if I admit that it's a personality conflict, I'm free to go, all right, now clear up the bias. Would you vote for her based on her policies? No, I wouldn't. I also don't like hypocrisy, and I can't stand how many black men she put in prison, laughed about it. She's on video talking about how with the stroke of her pen, she could send you to jail for a lesser charge that would have you miss work to where you lose your family or use your paycheck, lose your family, ruin your life. That admittance makes me go, okay, that's why I hate this fucking cunt and I want her never in a position of power. But people, it's pride issue. It's a pride issue people don't acknowledge.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the opposite sense. Like, a lot of people hate Kanye West. I like Kanye West. I think he's a musical genius. And okay, yeah, I grew up listening to his earlier albums. So yes, I'm a little bit more inclined to say that, don't get me wrong, Kanye's had some bad songs, and I will say when they're bad, but I'm a little bit more inclined to just be like, you know what, I kind of like this. It's just it's a personality thing. And this Kamala situation, bro, like her, when she did that interview that they kind of tried to memory hole as soon as it happened. It was on a local Philly station. It was only 11 minutes long. And the one thing that I can't stand Kamala Harris. I think everybody's clear on that. But the one thing that just drove me up the wall, bro, is when she says, of course, she used the same answers from the debate, but she says, I grew up around people that really care about their lawn, right? And I'm like, I thought you grew up in Oakland. Now, sure, there are people that have lawns in Oakland. I'm not going to deny that. But even in the 80s, I don't think it was like a suburban, Kansas town with huge lawns or a Texas town with huge lawns. So it's just weird. And the way she kind of laughs for approval. It's like, oh, they love their lawn. Right. And you're like, lady, what the hell is wrong with you? And this kind of, they can never, to your point, they can never just admit, bro, just admit it. Like, I guess it's very difficult. We all know that it's harder to convince somebody that they have been tricked than to trick somebody. So you kind of have to figure it out on your own. It's the same thing with Rona, right? He said inject bleach or ultraviolet lights work. And then you fast forward 2 years and there's ultraviolet lights. You go to the airport, you go to the mall, all over the escalators, like ultraviolet cleans this handrail. And it's like, you guys hated this a year ago. This is
dude, this is the perfect example of the gaslighting. And it's so frustrating. This is from a woman riding with Kamala. This is just a random tweet she put out 17 hours ago. If the shooter didn't have line of sight and didn't get a shot off, how is it an assassination attempt?
Because he was hiding in the bushes for 12 hours.
No. You don't get to make sense like that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do. So my question to her is, do these same non-lining up provable standards apply the next time you call racism on somebody? It's like okay, if I didn't give you the right of way to turn the vehicle at a stop sign, clearly I'm a racist. It's like that. That's what blows me away is the left is so good at gaslighting. They're very amazing, but The only way I know to stop that is like slap the piss out of somebody's mouth. That's it. But we can't do it because it's against the law.
Yeah, and of course you will be turned. I mean, we see it over and over again. And I'm most familiar with some of the craziest places. I mean, well, Chicago's pretty bad too. I mean, as far as I know, from what I see on the outside. But it's just like you guys constantly look. There's a string. I have a couple tabs open right now. There's a string of racist restaurants in San Francisco. Because they put the N-word on a receipt, and it's just like. Hold on, you guys are talking about racism constantly when you're supposed to be the bastion of leftism and your own mayor is being investigated. You have to be very corrupt.
Was that the guy who claimed he had monkey on his receipt?
That was in a different.
Yeah, monkeys. But his name was Marquise. Monkeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was in like the same week or two, so the same time period, but not in San Francisco. So that's just
it blows me away. Blows me away. So it's intent, right? You have to prove that the server had intent to be racist. Well, I guess you're going to have a difficult time improving. And the lawyer, I was on a panel today with this lawyer, and he's brilliant. And he goes, dude, if I'm defending this guy, he goes, I'm going to plead that, A, he was influenced by people like Maxine Waters, who are constantly calling for the hateful Trump is Hitler, this and that. And this guy was just doing his patriotic duty to eliminate potential Hitler. And then you can't prove that how do you know he was, maybe he was just there to lean a rifle up against a fence to make it look like it was just scared. So you can't prove it was an assassination attempt. It's like, holy shit, we are so screwed as a culture.
Yeah, bro. And it's just wild how, one of the stories in San Francisco, just really quickly, when the lady had the N-word on her receipt and she feigned, oh, I can't believe they would do this. And of course, it's coming out of San Francisco where everything's supposed to be beautiful and perfect. But then, notably, they say, oh, well, the employee was fired. And it's almost obvious to anybody with a brain, you could put two and two together, the employee was black. I mean, they didn't put his picture up there. They didn't even say his name, which is almost more of a reason why you know he is in fact black. Same thing with the dog walker hate hoax, also in San Francisco. He says somebody sent a racist letter to my house, and somebody set his house on fire, even though I believe it was him, and he almost sacrificed his own parents to get some cash into this GoFundMe, and then the woman that the cops quote unquote found was black.
Yeah. Kids, this is the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely.com. Welcome. We have a chat in case anybody wants to get involved. It's Rants of Izzo show at Telegram for all that kind of stuff. All right, listen, here's the deal. Got to take a little bit of a break here. Spreely.com is our home. Spreely.com. We touch ourselves to Spreely.com. That's how much we're in love with Spreely. So what you can do is you can share Spreely content with people that you love and say, hey, listen, this is maybe you don't like my stuff, but Report and Opine is on here. And if you like Eric, yeah, you share Eric's stuff. It's as simple as that. Also, 708-982-0974 is not just the show number. It's the number where I'm the most accessible host for anything you need. Did you guys know that I'm a professional network marketer? So when your wife is doing that bullshit pyramid scam stuff and spending money like crazy, and you're like, I don't know what oh my God, she can't recruit, she can't do this. You know you can call and text me and talk to me all about the profession and I'll help you out. Bet you didn't know that. Did you know your little bastard kids, they won't eat their fruits and vegetables, will they? Did you know I have a solution and you can get it for free for up to 20 years? Yes, you can. 708-982-0974. Did you know I'm one of the #1 Kung Fu instructors in the world? Wing Chun. 708-982-0974. The point is, kids, I'm a Renaissance man. I do a lot of things fucking incredibly well. And if you want to get a hold of me, let me know. 708-982-0974. Eric, one more time, plug that awesome book you got.
Yes, sir. New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued by Eric Butler on Amazon.com. 260 full color, 8.5 by 11 pages, documenting some of the demise of New York City. Go get it. Help me out, because somebody decided to return the book and they want to charge me for it. but we can instead take it out of new purchases. So go ahead and buy that, please. I'm begging you. Obviously, I like to use the Seinfeld Kramer clip in my videos. So yeah, help me out. And it's obviously it's very interesting, and it is a mark. It is a clear mark in time that I think they're going to be teaching history classes soon.
Forever. We teach you forever. Guys, if you have a business, a product, or a service you'd like to feature on the show and you're a small American business, get a hold of me as well, too. 708-982-0974. We love featuring small American businesses on this show. Let's help everybody out. Yeah, freely, speak freely, do all that good stuff, and punch a liberal in the face. Don't really do it, but... No, I mean, why? I mean, you can do it. I don't think I could be criminal held accountable if Maxine Waters isn't. So
yeah, remember when that was a whole thing?
Yeah, it sure was. All right, P. Diddy. What do you know personally about P. Diddy, the musician?
You know what? I don't know too much about him outside of the idea that I literally grew up on this stuff. Him and Mace in the late 90s. I thought it was great.
Oh, what was that awesome Mace? Oh, go ahead. Oh,
well, Mace has, for the record, Mace has recreated himself in I believe, a great fashion, and he's really quite funny on a sports show that he's doing now with Cameron. But I didn't know too much about him. I was a kid. I do know. I don't know if people know this, but shout out AE, who, of course, this is a cousin of mine who had a child with Amber Rose. Completely different story. The point is, he sort of modeled he dropped out of high school, went into the music industry, actually made it, right? You can find his name on the credits on the back of CDs and all CDs. And was
yeah, dude.
So he sort of modeled his career after P. Diddy, after Mace, and some of the the young Lil Waynes and stuff. So I don't know much about him outside of the fact that he was kind of. And it sounds terrible to say today, but he was kind of like a role model,
dude,
a big brother,
big
something
deal.
You sort of, yeah, exactly. And that's why it's really sad. You put this together with Nickelodeon, and they've ruined Seinfeld. They've basically ruined my entire childhood,
Nickelodeon.
even
So
The Wire.
If I say you can't do that on television, does that mean anything to you? Wow. No. You can't. How about Double Dare?
Oh, that yeah, like Mark Summers?
Yeah.
Yes, that I am familiar with. I grew up on, but you can't do that on TV. What is that from?
How about Out of Control? Dave Coulier, before he was...
is that Full House?
Yeah, before that.
Oh, no, I don't know what he was on.
That's my generation's Nickelodeon. It wasn't Mace. It was actually Clips was the song I was thinking of. This was my jam, like 15 years ago. Yeah. See, this is where I tapped into my black roots from being Italian. I used to listen to this in the squad car. When this came on, I'd be patrolling. I would like lower myself in the seat, like, yeah. Sorry, it's a good song. I have to listen to this later on when I'm riding to the gym.
And that has the Pharrell beat.
Great, dude.
Pharrell is a weirdo, lefty, feminist type of dude, but he was good back then. Okay. Made that beat.
So Diddy was indicted, and let's hear exactly what's going on with that.
Is that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. The indictment...
I got a lot of thoughts, but I'll let you go first.
Well, it sounds like he was into this for the better part of 2 decades. How does that happen?
Here's how it happens. And I don't defend rape. I don't defend anything underage, and I don't defend anything that's non-consensual. However, there has to be a very, very distinct clear, advertised, she was into it shit. And when you take a man who's in a position of power, women, I don't know how to say this. Does people just don't go to clubs anymore? Now I'm almost 50. I haven't been to a nightclub in over a decade. But when I worked in the nightclub industry, it was cocaine, ecstasy, GHB or liquid G, and booze was all over the place. And the same girls came out every fucking week, didn't pay for shit, and they left with a guy who bought all their drinks, and sometimes she'd be slipping shit at the fucking bar, doing lines in the bathroom. This is something that has never changed. But females are the ones who have power to come out and go, I was sexually raped and this and that. The new buzzword now is sex trafficking. That's the new buzzword. So what you have is you got a 21-year-old starlet who says, shit, P. Diddy he's promising me the world. And we know his intent. He wants to use her and that's it. Whatever. Here's some drugs. Here's some coke. Here's some blow. Here's some X, whatever it is. Yeah, I've got a private jet. Let's go from New York to LA tonight. You're going to fuck several of my friends. You're into it, yeah. And some women are massively into that. They're going to go back. And then what happens? 20 years later, I was sex trafficked? I have a big problem with this because the full story is never told because it's instant vilification. It's the amount of people who will just, how dare you defend a rapist? Prove, aside from her own words, that she didn't want it. I'd love those tapes to be played. If they've got tapes, find out how much she consented and play that porn all in fucking in a court proceedings because there is so much more to this shit that they never talk about.
And that's what they constantly. And this is part of the. I mean, it sounds bad, but you're correct, right? I mean, how many we're like they try to get Trump in trouble? Oh, they let you grab him by all that stuff, right? But for decades, it seems like it was kind of a quid pro quo. So which woman, and I'm sure shout out to Maya. I don't know if you remember Maya, but I think she has gone on the record several times saying a couple of guys in the industry tried to proposition her and she said no, and she got blackballed. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true, but there's probably a point where some ladies were like, well, I mean, look, we
just had a California governor do that. A female California governor from Sacramento is in a lawsuit because she quid pro quote her chief of staff. I guess he torqued up his back from eating her box in the fucking back of her car.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I do remember.
I didn't dive deep. Like I know, the media wants you to just read the headline and then go away. So and that's exactly what I did. So I don't know all the details of that, but it's really not surprising. And look, bro, as sad as it sounds, and I make the joke, right? Okay, I'm sure people probably don't like this, but okay, I didn't marry my high school sweetheart. I didn't marry my college sweetheart. So now, just got to get rich and buy one. I mean, that's just like, right? They're not gonna. It's just that's just how it happens. That's how it goes. And so the thing is, what they love to do, and maybe it's true. I don't write the laws. I don't know anything about these lawmakers, but they're gonna say, oh, these power positions or this, it's kind of the same thing with racism almost. Like, well, white people can't be racist because they have power, and racism takes power plus prejudice or whatever. So they throw these weasel words in there, and I'm blanking on the actual words, but they have to make sure to throw in position of power, or so you can't just be equal, right? You have to, as soon as if you're a millionaire and you have a jobless woman, it doesn't matter what happens. You could say, hey, do you want to have sex and I'll give you $500,000? And she could say yes, but 2 years goes by and now you're still the bad guy because you used that as leverage. I guess that's illegal. I don't know. You're the law expert.
Dude, I'm so fucking tired of this. I'm tired of women taking advantage of a system. And it absolutely blows me. Women are the only ones out there who can do something consensually for their own edification, and then 20 years later call it rape, and then watch some guy get thrown over the coal. I don't know him. I don't follow his music. I don't care, like if he had Biggie Smalls killed. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff because it has no meaning for me. And I do know to get to his level, you got to step on a lot of damn people. But the one thing I'm worried about is it's election season. Who's he going to be the fall guy for? And are they going to do this? Are we going to find out that this case opens up something to where you now see Republican senators, congressmen, people who are connected close to Trump, because maybe Trump was friends with Diddy 20 years ago, and all of a sudden you won't see shit about the Epstein logs, but you'll see shit about Diddy's logs?
Maybe, but there is that photo circling around social media right now. Because remember when it was all vote or die? I think that was 04 or maybe that was 08. I don't know. It was a long time ago when it was vote or die. Diddy runs the city and he had a mohawk. And there's the picture floating around right now of Diddy with like his arm around Hillary Clinton. And there is a clear separation between, I think, and I've tried, bro. I go through YouTube. I go through Twitter to a lesser extent because it's crazy. And Instagram is obviously my favorite, but you can go onto Kamala Harris's page right now and look at her. She posted a picture of her and Oprah for a fundraiser, and you can go through thousands of comments and 80% of them are negative. And, there's even some like level-headed centrist type of people in there. So you didn't give us any of your ideas. Why would we vote for you because you're hanging out with Oprah? It doesn't make sense. So there's this thing where the right wing, they have their influencers, they have their DC Dranos, and I guess I don't know, you're right wing, I don't know, whatever, but their DC Dranos and their Dinesh D'Souza's and typical liberal and all that stuff. Meanwhile, those very same people for the left are only on mainstream media. Right. OK, Ed Krasenstein, who keeps trying to put up a poll and gets ratioed to hell with right wingers saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump. So it seems like they're operating towards the same goal. But the left wing has this institutional power, all this money, and they go on TV and start crying about the cats and dogs. And that's not real. That's not real. Put on a mask, all this stuff. Meanwhile, the more authentic people seem to be right wingers, the DC Dranos of the world, who are going to bat for their whatever right-wing values. So it seems like they're doing the exact same job. It's only that this establishment somehow has, I guess, gained trust over the years and loads of money that they can use to counteract. And that's also why they love censorship. That's why do you remember? I mean, I'm sure you remember for years, you couldn't even, I tried to trick the algorithm by misspelling the word vaccine, still get a flag on it. So it's very strange. And as far as Diddy is concerned, man, this is just, I guess you have no choice, right? If you, part of me says, oh, you should have quit while you were ahead, bro.
Why would you? Why would anybody? That amount of power? Dude, you get that type of sexual club going on, it's fucking power. It's power. Dude, think about it. I'm your friend, and as your friend, I like doing stuff, right? Like giving you gifts and, hey, man, come over to my house and we'll buy you whatever kind of food you want, this and that. Now I'm the kind of guy who gets you laid with the most exotic, attractive women on the planet. And you elevate me to this status of, that's my boy, dude. He could do anything. That's addicting. That's addicting. Why would anybody ever give that power up? Diddy talked about, I read the lawsuit. He would have these performers up at like 2 a.m. to rehearse shit. Cause I guess it was for the reality show that was in his house. And did you ever see, what was it? It was the Chappelle show where they were mocking it. And Chappelle was like, Diddy, and he goes, I need the breast milk of a Cambodian. Okay, and somebody flies out and he goes, this is the best breast milk ever. And then it's like those insane demands. That episode has to be 20 years old. Yeah. So they knew about this shit then.
Right? You remember the cheesecake, right?
No.
I actually did a whole podcast with shout out my buddy Andrew, who worked for a news outlet, but we did he somehow got his hands on like this old footage of Making the Band 2. So we watched every single episode and like commented and stuff on this. And Diddy at that point in time, which I guess was 03 or so, it was a long time ago, when he made the band, the contestant, well, no, they had already won, right? So he had one show to make up the band, and then the second show to like create the band's first album. And they were up in Harlem. And he said, go get me a slice of cheesecake. And they're like, no, that's so far. And they're thinking that they're going to go to Junior's Cheesecake in Harlem, which would have been like a 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk, if that, depending on like exactly where they were in Harlem. And he said, no, I want you to go to the original Junior's Cheesecake in Brooklyn. So what you thought was a long walk from, 125th to 118th or whatever, like, those blocks are large, or the avenues or whatever. It was like a 30-minute walk, and then it ballooned into hours, right? So there's a Junior's in Uptown, there's a Junior's in Times Square, which they could have gone to, and then there's a Junior's all the way in Brooklyn. So they had to pass 2 Juniors to get him a slice of cheesecake and then walk all the way back up to Harlem without, and then he's like, no, if this cheesecake is in any way soft or melted, then you're going to go back. And it's like, it's obviously impossible. But people, maybe looking back on it now, it seemed quite obvious, but at the time, maybe we should have known that this guy was a little bit, but it was for TV. It was for TV.
Why not? It makes for good TV. I had to put this tweet out. Woman, a creature who has the ability to consent to engage with full knowledge and awareness in the most depraved sexual acts while willfully consuming intoxicating compounds and alcohol, which impairs their judgment and still engages in aforementioned sexual acts, then cries rape and sex trafficking 20 years down the road, blaming men and accepting no responsibility themselves.
Yes. And this, I think we touched on this briefly with that old the clip of the football player, which now, after seeing him talk to CNN, I don't care for him at all. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. Huh?
Oh, come on. You go ahead. I want to hear.
Well, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and then when I saw his CNN interview, I'm like, no, dog, they should have threw you under the jail. Anyways, for whatever reason, like I mentioned, my YouTube algorithm has been giving me all this body cam footage, and I saw last night two videos of just hammered, completely drunk, wasted women, and the cops are giving them ample opportunity. We're talking about 10, 12, 15 opportunities to say, are you going to do the test? Are you going to do the test? Are you going to do the test? And they're just like, yeah. And then they finally calmly and softly put her in the cuffs and put her in the back of the car. She pukes in the car. She pees in the car. And they're all just so nice to her.
Yep.
But then when it comes to these football guys, which are whatever, 6'5", 220 pounds, whatever, they are ready quick.
Go watch the video of the Navy SEAL who's in Reno, Nevada, drunk in the courtyards, drugged out of his fucking mind. He's jacked up. The guy's a fucking killer, and the cops, they're too afraid to go hands on with him. It looks like they waited 20 minutes and finally go very gently hands on with him. Dude, jump on that motherfucker, take him into custody, but they don't do it. They're all pussies. Speaking of, okay, we have to take a different direction here. Do you know who Andy Frisella is?
Yeah. I know of him. I don't know, the small details about his business, but he's a podcaster, fitness type of guy, or what?
He's the owner operator of a company called First Form, which it's a supplement company. Congratulations. This is fucking ridiculous. You dirty bitch. Oh my gosh. I don't want that. Andy Frisella has a podcast. It's called Real AF, and they're on
75 Hard.
Yeah, 75 Hard is a program he does. I'm a consumer of First Form supplements. Andy made some statements about female cops on his podcast the other day. Now, understand, this guy's got 3 million followers on Instagram alone. And I will say I was blessed enough to be on his podcast 2 years ago. I spoke to him briefly yesterday on the phone. I'm not going to repeat my conversation with him, but this is newsworthy what happens. Now, keep in mind, First Form donated. It's a huge, huge organization. They employ thousands of people. They've been involved in the community in St. Louis for quite a long time. When the Mike Brown shit happened in Ferguson, they donated stuff. They donate stuff all the time. They employ part-time police officers. I want to play this news clip audio and I have a discussion.
Many in the police community upset and cutting ties with local fitness entrepreneur Andy Frisella. This coming after he made derogatory comments on his podcast about women in law enforcement. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski talked with current and former officers who called his remarks disgusting.
Andy Frisella, the co-owner of First Form, a St. Louis supplement and fitness company, is on damage control after these comments he made during his podcast episode that came out on National Policewoman Day.
Why, in my opinion, women shouldn't be in field and police officers. I just don't think they should be. Every woman cop I've ever dealt with, every single one that I've ever been pulled over by, tried to make me feel like a and if that person didn't have a badge or a gun, you could punch a hole through their face and end their life. And they're talking to you like you're a piece of shit.
This comment came up after they talked about Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill being arrested last weekend. The episode has been taken down, and there was a second one put up talking about these remarks again.
Did I overgeneralize? Yeah, for sure. And I do that sometimes. That's the nature of how I speak.
Frisella did post another 12-minute audio-only podcast episode called I Messed Up and I'm Sorry.
I said some things on the show on Thursday that after thinking about it and after having it pointed out to me, that I feel very regretful for saying. Embarrassed that I said it. It doesn't reflect who I am.
Despite the various attempts to clarify and apologize, both the St. Louis County and city police departments released statements condemning Frisella's comments and officially severed all ties to Frisella and First Form. St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy said in a statement his overall and disparaging comments do not reflect our views or core values and have no place in the SLMPD. St. Louis County Police Association Executive Director Joe Patterson says Frisella and his company have been major donors to law enforcement, charitable organizations, and backstoppers.
And we truly do appreciate that previous support. But one of the things I heard from a lot of my women officers, they said, Joe, it has to be clear we cannot be bought. We cannot forgive him for saying this just because of the good he's done in the past.
How hard is this for all these women who put their lives on the line every day?
It's really disturbing for them, both emotionally and just they feel extraordinarily violated and disrespected.
So here you have the opinion of a citizen, taxpayer, police supporter, and his opinion based on his
thousands of people.
Correct, including police officers. And his opinion hurts the feelings of female police officers to the point that they are emotionally disturbed and feel threatened. They proved his point. They proved his point by showing that these women do not have the mental fortitude to operate on the streets. God forbid they pull somebody over like me and I go, cunt, I'm not giving you my whatever. Oh my God, oh, you just called me a cunt. They can't handle the position of the job. Not to mention the fact you have the police just proved. If you criticize us, we will hurt your business. We'll hurt your business.
So who complained? It was lady cops? Like who? How did this even?
He's got one of the biggest podcasts in the world. And
so it was Twitter. It was Twitter talking heads. Twitter fingers.
No. I spoke to him, and I'm not gonna say what he said, but it was people in that area who heard it and they complained. So what is St. Louis PD? I don't know if it was the municipality or the county that severed their ties with him. So we're going to punish your business because you have an opinion about our police officers. At what point, and I told him this, I said, hey, number one, congratulations. You see what the thin blue line really is. Doesn't matter what you did for them throughout the last couple of years. The second you voice your opinion, which I personally, and I respect what he did, he walked back his statements with an apology because of the thousands of people who depend on him. Because they could fuck with his business. They could sit there.
But they already did.
Oh, yeah. Well, how many people could lose a paycheck, a big paycheck, if his business... So he has to. And so I respect it. Do I like it? No, I don't. But he's not being selfish. If he tripled down, that would be selfish, right? But fuck these female cops and fuck St. Louis Police Department for not allowing a citizen their free speech. It blows me away. People should be terrified.
Yeah, and it goes. I mean, half the time you don't even know what a woman is. Half the time, right? So how do you even differentiate, right? Like you could just pretend, right? We see constant loads of videos on YouTube of there's one going viral recently of some obviously a big, broad-shouldered man dressed up as a woman who just reverts back to being a man, right? When somebody says, "Oh, hey, what's up, bro?" And then all the feminine leaves their body and they go back to, I'll kick your face in. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, so are you a man? Are you a woman? And so there's that. Obviously, they don't even, being a woman only works when they want it to work. Correct. But secondly, And this is another thing that I've just been binging these stupid body cam videos like late at night before I go to bed. YouTube just feeds me this like New Mexico body cam, Florida body cam. It's just nonstop. It's the algorithm, and I try to change. I try to look at old basketball clips or even news clips or something. And I change the algorithm, and they just keep feeding me. But anyways, it seems to me, and this is, I don't have nearly as big a platform as him, so it's probably going to sound bad, but not as, won't affect nearly as many people. But the women seem to only be good for patting down other
women,
criminal women.
See, no offense. Why are you so hesitant to say that?
Well, it's just like, because I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, why the hell would I want a woman to even corral a rowdy woman? Right? Like, you don't want a woman to corral a rowdy man or a rowdy woman.
You wind up fighting with the woman as well.
Yeah,
you wind up. Women are the worst for law enforcement because what happens is, especially if they're working with a male partner. I'll never forget this. We had 3 women from the town next to us that were trying to take somebody into custody, and I knew 2 of the women that were involved. I was really good friends with one, and the other one was actually dating my commander at the time. Okay, so I'm the town next door. I just get on. It's 5:05, and all of a sudden we hear on the radio, CENTCOM, send the park, send Round Lake Park, which means that fucking 3 women couldn't take somebody into custody. My commander looks at me with this, because he heard who it was, looks at me and goes, get the fuck over there right now. Because it's his girlfriend. So it impairs his judgment. It's not that it's another cop crying for help. It's his girlfriend. It's an emotional connection. So if you downplay that, right? I have to wonder. It was one of my best friends at the time, female cop. If she ever went hands-on and I was there, how hard would I go on somebody? Because that's my sister. That's my fucking blue sister, man. It's too risky. You don't think like that when you're a guy.
Right? In New York, when the guy started punching.
Yes.
The cop started punching the guy because he punched a female officer.
Correct. He punished the guy for hurting his sister in blue. Women cops are a danger and a detriment to both. That citizen got put in danger because that male cop couldn't control his temper because what she's doing. It's ridiculous.
So, I mean, I kind of feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're the expert on this situation, on this subject, but I kind of feel like you're already getting a deal, right? So if you are slumped in your car, passed out drunk in front of the wheel, and then a male officer comes and says, well, we're going to wait until we get a female officer here to pat you down and see if you have any needles or whatever in your pocket, you're already getting a great deal, right? So you should be thankful to even, because I get it. Don't get me wrong, bro. And I've also seen loads of it, not loads, but a couple of videos of, crooked male police.
Oh, there's fat, shitty male police officers all over the place. But you have control over one. You have control over eliminating women.
So some drunk girl is seducing him, and he's like, you know what? It's been a while for me, so I'm going to go ahead and do this,
locks himself in the back of the fucking squad car.
Yes,
it's 2024. We have morons all over the place. But I say this all the time. Look at Officer Ashley Smith on Instagram. Big account. Has her tits out in every fucking in every post. She's a bikini model, fitness model, attractive broad on fucking social media. Who is supposed to take her seriously on? Here's the problem. Who is supposed to take Officer Ashley Smith seriously on a call? Hey, let's see your tits. Yeah. But what she'll do is, my question is, will she amp up her level of force or authority to make you take her seriously? Because she's out there, I'm going to make it so your cock gets rock hard over me online, but when I'm on duty, no, you obey me. Well, which is it? Which is it? No, it's insane. It's ridiculous.
So,
female should not be cops.
I don't understand. I mean, look, bro, I'm sure, I guess my point is, you just don't have the same strength. You pretend and you want to. It's like, oh, we don't know what a woman is, and a man could be a woman. But when it really comes down to it, you don't. And that's fine. That's okay. But then you're still getting a great deal, right? You could be a dope fiend You could be a smackhead mother, and they're still going to get a female officer to search you. So you should count that as a win. It's kind of like the criminal illegals in San Francisco say, I lost a toe, I lost a foot in the shelter in San Francisco from Venezuela. It's like, bitch, you should have been thankful that they gave you the shelter. Like, what am I missing here?
I don't know. And that's the problem. Is fucking. I when I saw that today, I saw it yesterday, and I'm blown away because I'm going, how do the cops do that to a business owner? That's and forget everything he's done in the community, but free speech, and I will tell you, there's going to be retaliation against him, and it
they already
sucks.
did.
It's going to be. You're going to get cops fucking with him. You really are. And the worst part. And I didn't talk to him about this, but I know that there were probably tons of active and retired cops who called him or texted him or emailed him and said, bro, I understand what you're going through, but blah, 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 this and that. But man, you're right. But they will never come out and publicly say it. Never.
We're cooked. We're cooked if these police officers can't even stand up. And I've seen, I know this guy through other influencers, right? So you see other people drinking his water, his clothes, whatever. Like they cut some sort of deal. Seems fine to me. That's how I found out about him. And for those cops to say, to know the truth but not be able to say it, it's not looking good.
Oh my God, I hate people with sales. I'm available for training you. I hate people. All right, kids, that's the Rants of Izzo show. It is Tuesday. Have a great damn day. Burn Pit Podcast boys are on tomorrow. God only knows what we'll be talking about. Jews! Who fucking knows? I don't know what those two. You guys have a great damn day. Share the show. Check out Spreely.com. Don't forget CreateHolistic.com. Don't forget about New York 2020, Gotham Unglued, all the important things out there. Spreely.com. Help the platform grow. Help us grow. We love you so much. We'll give you virtual hand jobs if you do. Probably Eric will do them. Guys, have a great damn day. Go help somebody today. If you can't help them, don't hurt them.